first thing to mention is this. If you don't know what the flipping hell I'm talking about, Amazon PPC, let's just go and show you what that is. And we have to go, of course, we can't go to Amazon here in Australia. We have to go somewhere else. And let's just do something where I can show you, because there's loads of newbies on the call tonight. So this is Amazon PPC. That's a sponsored brand listing right there, sponsored by True Skin Naturals. Notice it's page 1, position number 1, and these are all sponsored product listings right there. Notice that they are above everything else. So that is Amazon PPC at work. Sponsored means paid for, although we don't pay until we click, which is why PPC is so good. All right, so what is a reasonable advertising cost of sale? So reasonable ACOS, advertising cost of sale. So let's move on over to this, and I can give you some kind of insights into this, and hopefully I'm going to be able to give you some things to consider. All right, so ACOS stands for advertising cost of sale, and it's the metric that Amazon uses to give you information about your advertising campaigns. Actually, let's just go here. I can show you one of my campaigns and then you'll get to see it. And that's probably going to be easier. So I do heaps of PPC. Whenever I can, I'm running PPC. And this is one of my ad groups for one of the products, actually one of my business partner and mine products, not one of my own products per se. And here is the amount that I've spent down this little one here. Oops, I didn't word very well. This spend just there. And then the number of orders that that's created, just there, which gives you the sales volume, just there. And then the ACOS, which is the advertising cost of sale, just there. So we've spent $212 on total for this particular campaign. That's yielded 12 orders for this particular ad group, not campaign, for this particular ad group. Total sales has been $639, and if you do the multiplication of that, you'll see that $212 is 31.6% of $639, and that's where ACOS comes from. So it doesn't tell you the important stuff, but it does tell you some interesting stuff. So the important stuff it doesn't tell you is how much money you're making, how much profit you're making. It doesn't tell you that, but still it does tell you some good stuff to be able to function from, and so we use it as a little bit of a metric for doing PPC. All right. With that being said, so this is going to be interactive. So let's play along, okay? So let's pretend that our product has got an RRP of $40, all right? And typically that will be made up, $10 of that, so 25% will be the product cost. So whatever you pay from China, for instance, plus the freight cost to get it from, say, China into the FBA warehouses. So that's typically that. And then you've got another $10, which is typically your FBA fees, plus your commissions to Amazon, comms to Amazon. So that's typically how it works, which gives us, ladies and gentle germs, how much in gross profit for this product. That's a question for you. I'm giving you super easy maths to ease you into it, That's right, Brad. Anybody else got the answer there? Yes, Mr. Torme, not quite Mr. English. 50% margin. All right, good stuff. So, well done, guys. $20 or 50% margins. Okay, so that's pretty easy. That's pretty easy to figure out. So what we now know is that we've got $20 of gross profit to play with when it comes to marketing and advertising our product. So the question now becomes, how much money could we invest in Amazon PPC per sale and still make a profit? How much money could we invest in Amazon PPC per sale and still make a profit? What do you reckon? $10 says Una. Neil. Mr. Wilson, I'm with you. 19 says Brad. 10 says Liz. 10% gross. Cornelia, I'm with you. Mr. English says $10 or 25%. Sue, I'm with you. Phil, I'm with you. All right, so I think, realistically, if you wanted to, I mean, it's not, you wouldn't necessarily do it, but you could spend up to $19.99. You could invest that in marketing and still make a profit. Now, albeit you'd make the princely sum of 1 cent profit, but you would still make a profit. All right, so you'd be in the black rather than in the red. Hey Deb, how are you, love? All right, so let's take this a little bit further. Now, there's a couple of different things. So advertising cost of sale and indeed advertising in general has got a couple of different outcomes for it, and we use it in 2 different ways. Way number 1 that we can use it to launch a product. So in a product launch phase, we've got a different end game for our advertising, a different end game for our advertising. What is the end game, our goal, when we're launching a product? What's the goal that we're trying to achieve when we launch a product? Oh, you guys are on it tonight. Well done. All right, so we're looking to rank our product. We're looking to rank our product. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to rank our product. Now, here's why we're looking to rank our product. Let's pretend that we've done our research on a particular product niche, and we now know that that particular product, if we can get it to page 1, position 1, that's going to give us, say, 10 sales per day. Okay, 10 sales per day. And so, given we know this about our product, if we're making 10 sales per day, what is our potential gross profit per day if we're in page 1, position 1? What is our potential gross profit per day if we are in, good work Neil, if we're in page 1, position 1? You guys are on it. All right, so pretty simple. Again, the math here is pretty simple. If we are making $20 gross profit per sale and we're making 10 sales a day because we're in page 1, position 1, and they're organic sales, okay, that's going to give us $200 per day in potential gross profit. Okay, now the question is, when you're ranking, when you're launching your product and you're looking to rank your product, how much money would you invest in your business to secure page 1, position 1, which will then enable you to make 10 sales a day, $200 gross profit per day? Now, there is no real answer to that, and that will really come down to you and your own budget. But it's a good thing to consider for yourself when you're coming to actually think about how much to invest into your business. Given that page 1, position 1 for your search term will make you 10 sales a day, $200 in gross profit per day, you have to consider how much money you would invest to secure that spot, all right? Which brings us very, very neatly back to this. What would you invest? How much of your gross profit would you invest of your advertising, of your profit in advertising? How much of that would you invest? Now, you could well say to yourself, well, given that I'm going to make $200 per day, I'm going to invest all of my gross profit per sale in Amazon PPC, plus I'm also going to invest an additional X, whatever X is for you. So I'm also going to invest an additional amount of money to really secure that spot. And that's oftentimes what I will do. So launching your product, we're looking to rank your product. And sometimes that means investing additional money over and above your gross profit to ensure that you achieve that. I hope that makes sense, because it's a very, very important consideration when you're thinking about the budgets of your business and how your business works. Okay? So, once you have launched your product, your goal, of course, is to get to page 1, position 1, so you can secure whatever that is for you, for your given product. But once you've launched your product, you then move into the profit phase of your product. And your profit phase is simply, you're looking for anything better than that. So, Kate, what would you consider a reasonable ACOS? Well, the reasonable ACOS is anything better than that for me. Anything what yields a profit, I consider that a reasonable ACOS. Now, not all keywords that you will bid on are created equally. So let's just flick back to this. Now, I'm not going to show you my full ad account, although I just did my full ad account and a complete Amazon PPC on my inner circle. So if you're in my inner circle, you've already seen all that. But this is just one of my ad groups, and you can see already, so the loose match terms, which is one of the campaigns in this ad group, that's got an ACOS of 61%, which is high. In fact, that's too high, and I'm losing money on those sales, okay? Now, I've already been in there and altered all of that, so that won't continue to happen, but I would have been, had I not optimized, been losing money on those. Excuse me. My other campaign here, substitutes, well, spent 131, it's made me 589 for 11 sales, ACOS of 22%, and I'm happy with that because that's making money, that's making profit. So it's in the profit. The thing is, these substitutes, and I'm just going to get a little bit deeper, a little bit geekier, so stick with me, all right? So the substitute keywords that I'm bidding on are not all created equal. So some, let's suppose that I'm bidding on 10 keywords in that particular campaign. I'm bidding on 10 keywords, and some of them are at 10% ACOS, and some of them are at 30% ACOS, while the average ACOS is 22%, well, 20% in that situation. But clearly, I want to be backing my winners even more and in doubling down on my winners and throttling back my losers. So there is layers upon layers of sophistication you can go to with Amazon PPC, which will then affect your reasonable ACOS. I hope that makes sense. So I don't want to go too much further into it, but that gives you some things to consider when it comes to establishing what the correct ACOS is. And hopefully as well, I've also given you some things to consider when it comes to actually thinking about your business and thinking about your business as an investing machine, Because for me, once I figure out that that happens, then for me, my goal is to get there as quickly and cost effectively as possible, okay? Now, if it took me, let's just take some weird things, okay? If it took me $1,000 to get to that mark, and it only takes me 5 days to make that $1,000 back, and then after that I'm making $200 a day, the question you have to ask yourself is that a good investment? And for me, there is no better investment. They say that property does well for you, but the reality is once you go into your business and figure this shit out properly, business provides the highest ROI of any asset class, As soon as you turn your business into a investment machine, which is what things like this do, then it just becomes money in, profits out. And the more you do that, the better, of course. So again, that's levels upon levels of levels of sophistication. But that's what it means. Once you figure this shit out, that's what it means. It means you put $1,000 in, you get to that spot, 5 days later, you get your $1,000 back, and then every day after that, you're making $200. That, for me, is a friggin' awesome deal. So you have to decide for yourself whether you believe that's a good deal or not, and then also, of course, consider your own budget with regards to that. But it's just things to think about. This is the level of sophistication you can get these businesses to, and then they just become money-making machines. They really do. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.